Hi everyone and welcome back to my The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles Let's Play. So last episode should be fine. I did audio check it, everything seems to check out. I'm gonna have to do that for each and every episode. I make sure I save this right before this moment just in case this goes topsy-turvy, hopefully not. But I'm doing my best to try to make sure that from now on the audio quality is fine, is good, and yeah, I think that is pretty exceptional for, what normally comes from my series. So hopefully it stays consistent, and that is just that. I do want to recap a little bit about what's happening. So I was like a little confused as to what that one photograph that Hosonaga presented to us, but it's all starting to come together. And the thing is, now that it's coming together, Miss Giselle Brett is trying to run away. She's trying to escape. She's trying to go on a luncheon with some people, and it's just like, nope. Especially now that you're trying to run, I know that this is super significant. And the thing is about this, he obviously branded himself after death because he never made any noise, any scream. I'm holding to that. Asogi may have tried to give up on us, but I'm not giving up on me or Asogi. We're definitely going to do what we have to do. We're going to be the dream team, and we're doing this. Outside of that, the thing is about mentioning Asogi and stuff is just like, I guess for some reason I just thought that Herlock Sholmes would be like present in this first case somewhere at some point, but that doesn't seem to be the case. I don't know how much longer this first case goes, but I feel like we gotta get close to wrapping it up. The case is starting to come together. That handbag, I don't know. I feel like there has to be something more to it, or that goose. Swan, I want to say it's a swan. I think I caught it every animal of the bird species almost under the sun, but yeah, I want to say that is a swan is what she has on top of her head. Sorry for the long amounts of rambling. Honestly, for YouTube in general, this is probably the most I've ever spoken at one point in time, just this consistently. So if I do stumble over my words, if things don't come out the way that it should, that's probably the reason why. I'm more so a quiet and reserved person over as much talking as I do during this series. What's your thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging in the hope that I might uncover something useful. He already has the makings. He already has the makings of being the great Ace Attorney, for sure. His first trial, I feel like I think for his first trial, he comes across more confident than Phoenix. That might be blasphemy, but I'm just saying. Yes, you're right. I am? If we can just link that burn to the case, especially considering how long this case is. I want to say that the very first Phoenix Wright case was the one with the newspaper salesman, and I want to say that went pretty rapidly. If we can just link that burn to this case, if we can do that, we might be able to prise this shutting door back open again. Just give up, Kanso. You can't possibly hope to do that. I like that he heard. Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. But if we had evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. I didn't either at first, Kazuma. The main thing, it's interesting how misdirection works. Because I was misdirected to only pay attention to the handbag at first. Because that was the point of logic that we were leaning towards, was that we're looking for the handgun in the bag. So that was where my eyes were focused. Even though the picture was, expanded a lot more outwards from that handbag, the only thing I noticed at first was the handbag, and only the handbag. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face and how she tried to run away like a snake in the sand. Really? I have to find some link between that burn and the case. That burn must mean a lot more than I'm even thinking of if she's trying to run away. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what that burn really means. So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. The evidence that demonstrates an inextricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial. Sure, I want to say it was this one.
Yes!
What's this, counsel? Yet another print? Of course! This is the print of all prints, because it's the print that proves that the other print is the print that leads back to this print, because it obviously means that his hand was on this print. Or rather, I'm going too far. Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at the same, we miss things. Yes. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore. It's so true, though. Like, I know I keep going on rambles in this episode for some reason, but it's kind of like whenever I play a game and I discover things I didn't even notice the first playthrough, or if I'm watching a movie, the same concept, because a movie is more so a moving picture, you know? That's pretty much what it means anyway. And it's like when I rewatch it and my eyes are picking up different instances that I didn't pick up the first time, because now I like know kind of where the movie is going. I can focus on other stuff. I pick up on things I didn't notice before. It's so awesome.
Do hurry up, rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further really would be quite inexcusable.
Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer, if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How?
Objection!
You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What is it in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn?
Oh, seriously? This is obvious.
Yes!
The fact that you don't see it.
The beefsteak?
The skillet, more precisely. Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. The plate? Oh! I don't like saying that.
Your Excellency, are you alright?
As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of Le Carnival. Ah! This emblem on the plate and the victim's burn, oh, it's getting stronger, are exactly the same shape.
Yeah!
Ryunosuke, you genius! Praise from you is the best kind of praise, I promise you. Like, Asogi, I love you. Even though you doubted us. No, actually, you didn't even just doubt us. Even though you thought the case was over. You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant.
Objection!
But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. It could have been the day before, or the day before that. It most likely happened at some other unrelated time.
Well,
Objection!
Sadly, Prosecutor Auchi, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks. This is the dream team. Oh my god. The synergy is flawless. Well, like I said, except for Asogi trying to throw us under the bus. Well, he didn't throw us under the bus, but he surely wasn't going to save us from the bus either. Or I guess rather he couldn't. He didn't notice the fine details.
Why?
The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly.
But...
I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. No, it's drawn so well. It's almost like you literally can see that it's ingrained in his skin. Shoutouts to the artists of this game. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Ryunosuke is just becoming such a strong lead. Like, can you be more specific, Inspector? I know that just, you know, on the surface it doesn't feel like has that much meaning to it, but the confident way he's asking the question in this whole hall of court, confidence, that's the thing. He's becoming a stronger individual. Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. Wow, okay, Hosonaga, you know some interesting facts. It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of Le Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation.
But you're a detective, not a waiter!
Yes!
That's even more reason why he would have noticed the scream. Ouchie. Actually, you just literally proved even more why he would have noticed it. There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burnt themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. No. I got to that point a little late last episode, but I eventually saw the light. And yet, Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream, not on that day or any before it. That's right. And the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? That's what I'm getting at. He was dead. Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, that would be beyond careless, I think, Consul. Then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would, without any question, have heard him scream. The face! This is my favorite face. The zone outlook. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Ouchie? Wow, he's commanding this floor right now, and I'm living for it.
Well, yes, I suppose.
So, the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I almost don't believe it. Ryunosuke, do you think...
Oh my gosh, this trial is so good.
Can it really be true? I never dreamt we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. Whew. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson, no man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds, asleep or not. That's clearly impossible, apart from in one particular situation. Consul, are you suggesting? Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead.
Already?
Dead? Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead.
That's madness!
I can't wait to stop voicing Ouchie. Order, please. It is nice to know that I know for sure that this is the only time Ouchie is probably going to appear in this. Consul, explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot?
That's right. That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts.
Objection!
No, Prosecutor Ouchie. It's you who has no grasp of the facts. I like how Kazuma bounced back really quickly. It's Sogi. It's top tier.
I beg your pardon?
As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. If it's true, as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, it's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. She's already coming up with the lies. The web of lies. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. He's having fun with this. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement.
But, Your Excellency, Great Britain, Japan, the treaty.
The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I am prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. Come on, I'm ready. What was that smile? She came up with something, I guess.
Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Especially if it helps restore relations between my country and yours.
So she does speak Japanese. Like I called.
Ah, Miss Brett, you speak Japanese?
Even Hosonaga looks shocked.
Well, of course I do. I am studying in your country, after all.
But then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now?
My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible.
I know a lot of people say that the crudeness that this game is probably why it never got translated for the longest time. And I can see it. Oh my god. I love Japanese. Like, I really do. Just hearing it. I like a lot of languages though. Italian, French. A lot of languages just have their beauty in their own way. To just say that they're vulgar, that's not really something I agree with. About any language.
But it seems the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen, so I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level.
Well. Not the time or the place for cool points, Ouchie, at all.
You're the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We are truly honored by this lavish consideration you so graciously afford us.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't even really know what to call it, but I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words. I know plenty of people that probably would have taken serious offense to what she just proclaimed about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So, we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. They certainly are. Definitely wasn't enough for the last episode. We're already 20 minutes in. The victim's death.
Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man bit his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please, do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway.
Interesting. That most captivating and beautiful testimony would go down in the Supreme Court's history. Thank you. She's rude and malicious. Like, no. Easy does it.
I hope that is the last time I will have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone.
Not at all. And this is what she speaks of. Embrace the love of your own language. Even though he pretty much, I think he tossed it away earlier anyway.
Not at all, not at all. It is a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant.
Just bend all the way over, ouchie. I think that would be in your best interest right now.
I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. The Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen.
Oh, she is crazy. Huh? Thanks. Was that a prayer then? Well, you'll have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with a cross-examination now. I expect you've noticed that this little buddy of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. Oh, yes, he doesn't. He's a fine specimen, that's for sure. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, Counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness's testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Oh boy. Yes, Your Excellency. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. He's getting in. He's definitely pulling confidence out of everywhere. Okay, so she's not sure where the poor man burned his wrist like that. I'm just gonna wind up pressing a lot of statements right now because I'm not really sure. But his hand was on a searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed that.
Do you think so? Let me ask you something.
Sorry?
Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the flyer in those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't not have noticed, can you?
Huh? What? Ah! Is it true? You're behind a desk.
It was fun. You hadn't realized.
Osanaga.
The dear lady is absolutely right.
I think that it's just nice to have multiple people on stand. Because you can read like a lot of different expressions and stuff towards what's being said. As your friend, you've embarrassed me as well as yourself, Ryunosuke. Shut up. This is not something that you need to be embarrassed about. Well, it is an earlier time. It happens though. It happens. Why didn't you tell me? Right, and then you want to be offended now.
Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing?
Oh yes, I think my tiny brain. Oh, for Jesus, Louise, please, another prosecutor. Meow. I think my
Yes.
Well, I can't.
Anyway, when the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in toast.
Yes.
You mentioned that already. As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water. Is that right?
Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at that time, if you remember. Which explains why he ordered that drink. Correct, waiter?
Exactly as you say, sir. Although, whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table, I'm afraid I don't remember that. You did go back to the kitchen though. He wasn't in.
Dang you. I have enough English to understand that, at least. For the benefit of others in the court, it means bless you.
No, it didn't. I think it means the exact opposite.
Anyway. As far as I've heard, the postmortem reports show no other possible cause of death besides a gunshot.
This makes the way she says this statement, and the other statement makes me believe that he did not die from a gunshot. No.
There's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace. Please do show me.
She's sticking her mouth where
Yes.
she didn't need to. She's giving me statements to press for something else other than. Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma.
Yes. Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. And as there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death,
It was poisoning.
it could only have been the bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life.
My guess now is it was poisoning. She did something to his water or whatever. And in fact, the glass that was in front of his area, like the steak, was a red herring. She took his glass. That glass had like proofs of poison in it or something. That's pretty much why she had to remove it off the scene. And I'm probably only guessing that thanks to the other Ace Attorney games. Stuff like that usually happens. But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that while she killed him immediately. I mean, I know a hot plate like that can stay hot for a minute, a nice minute, but yeah, she had to kill him like, I want to say within 10 minutes. And if the victim burned his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, then he must have already been dead at that point.
Objection!
And yet, the fact is that the victim was killed by a gunshot to the...
Oh, see, I'm still a little off, but now it makes more sense. He was poisoned because I guess normally you would get your beverage before you'll get like your food. At least in modern times. I don't know for sure if that's how it would be, but I could kind of go off of that logic if it would be here. But yeah, normally you would get your drink first. She poisoned him, he died, the hot plate came, she put it in front of him. But it looked like she did eat some steak by the looks of it.
And yet, the fact is that the victim was killed by gunshot to the chest. Until you're able to show that court evidence to disprove that, this is a complete waste of time.
I concur. Prosecutor Ouchie is right. Ugh.
If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me.
Yes!
Without leaving a trace.
If someone is shot, or strangled, or stabbed, or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body.
Even poisoning, to be sure, but at the end of the day, she didn't mention that. That makes it even more likely. She didn't want to throw that out there.
Quite right, dear lady. And as our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt
She did mention that in the last statement. I don't remember how she phrased it, but she said something about traces not being picked up or something.
Isn't that right, Inspector Hosonaga?
As I've said, I always aim for a flawless investigation. Yep. He's a flawless investigator, supposedly. But he didn't check her handbag, so it's not quite flawless. There will be physical traces with all those causes of death. That's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark.
If, oh, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Oh no, perish the thought! Calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question. On my honor, I, Takasuchi Ouchie, will cut down any who dare cast such aspersions.
A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence.
But of course,
This country's inferior investigative techniques. My guess is not the way she's saying it. Oh, and she was in the medical department at the school, I believe. See, is there really no way I can like not look, present? I don't want to present. Dang, I want to see I want to track the persons, but I can't do so. Because I believe she said that she was a student and she was in medicine or something like that. So she could have made a poison that they can't detect currently.
Yes!
Inferior? What do you mean by that?
The lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at a crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once, and that's the end of it. Isn't that so?
That's why she found it pure. She found it pure easiness to take out someone. Easy. Because it was totally a breeze.
Quite right. Le Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident. Exactly. Which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost.
Oh, Hosonaga. See, this is what happened in Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. Like, stuff like this happens when you have multiple people on the stand. Like, games after even this came out didn't have like multiple, like in the Phoenix Wright lore, didn't have like multiple people on the stand where you could like see stuff like this happen.
Does it even occur to your naive detectives to try to preserve the crime scene? I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can. You understand? A killer blow. The lady is as formidable as she is beautiful.
Amazing. Oh, he's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Auchi is finally starting to see sense. He's actually admitting our police. Auchi he's just a simpleton that goes along with the grain. I guess some people will probably call him a simp, but that's neither here nor there. I said nothing. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. Yeah. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think, Ryunosuke? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected, she's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. Wait, we did just see Hosonaga had some kind of thoughts, because I was like, wait a second, I was about to start panicking. I'm like, I didn't see a statement that I could press any, like, evidence to, but no, Hosonaga is the key. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue, somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. Kazuma. What, Ryunosuke? There is one thing I noticed. Something that's been bothering me. Bothering you? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. Yeah, Hosonaga. About the person standing next to her, Inspector Hosonaga. The detective. Yes, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. If it might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then, I wonder what Kazuma's thinking. I found out soon enough, I suppose, once I press Miss Brett on her last statement again. Okay. 2, 3, and 4. Alright.
Yes!
Okay, we read that. And guess it was after this part.
Wait.
Ah, there we go. Yes, there it is again. The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they are usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. You're right. Look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man and his train of thought. Sorry? Pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, Ryunosuke. It's all to do with the witness marker. What marker? At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett. She's the person actually making the current statement. I can't believe they're teaching me this, but by moving the marker left and right with this and this, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. While you're looking at the other witnesses, you'll be able to pursue them with A. If you can catch the person at just the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere among the people on the stand, a good look around, or take a good look around, I'm sure. Yeah, take a good look around. Alright then, so first I should move the marker across with left and right and focus on the detective. Then pursue him with A and see what's on his mind. Well, here we go. Exactly. Which, yeah. Evidence may be lost.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Grah, what the? What did he say? What's the meaning of this? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts deeply. It looked like you were thinking about something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say? If there's something you'd like to say, please, share it with the court.
What is the meaning of this?
That never gets old.
It's a delightful English woman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately.
Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? I like the judge. He's for justice, all right. Through and through. Well, yes. If you don't mind, I would like to speak. Please do. Oh, look at Miss Brett. She's covering her face. Oh, I love when she gets nervous. It means I'm getting close. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as they used to be in Great Britain, or as used in Great Britain, which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence like on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of a crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. Do that in today's day and age, and I think there has to be some kind of repercussions for that. He said call me a crime scene thief. A crime scene thief? Well, looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. Is that... This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took from the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming, I guarantee it. Take it easy. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. The carbonated water bottle has been entered into the court record. The carbonated water the victim and Miss Brett shared on the day of the murder. It was on the victim's table. Miss Brett. Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death?
Yes, it was that bottle.
What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Very well, counsel, you may resume the cross-examination, and the inspector will kindly control his fervor.
Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man bent his wrist. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. Above the head.
there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do share me. Wait, maybe I could investigate the bottle. Yes, I can examine it. I don't see anything. Huh. Oh, okay. I'm like, I can't. The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Kazuma? I think it's French. This must be a very expensive water. Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking. Then go to France and ask. You could just say that you don't know. That's not Kazuma's way, alright? Nothing. Yeah, I messed up. So this carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had. It looks like there's a little left in the bottle, although it's just plain water now. You know, I've been sweating so much, I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going. No, Ryunosuke, you can't do that. It could be poison, for one thing. That's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh no, you're right. We don't know what might be inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me, Ryunosuke. In more ways than one. I wonder, could there be anything in this water? What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden. I think I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility. Okay, an interesting possibility, but... Do I present this?
Yes!
That was creepy because I wasn't sure if that was right or not. What is this? The bottle of water? Actually, there is one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Like, I feel like that was kind of like a guess in the dark because it wasn't obvious. Like, that's weird. Like, sometimes this game likes to lead you. That was actually kind of like not really fully leading, I don't think. Aside from the fact that we just got the bottle. Poison? On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? A possibility has been unlocked. Order, order, order! Oh. A little heavy on those hands, Ryunosuke. And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could have possibly done it. Giselle Brett, it was you!
Objection!
This is outrageous to suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile, have you ever considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire?
See, this is the thing that I don't like. When everyone is lumped in because of a bad egg, she is a bad person, doesn't mean that our friendship with the British Empire has to go to snot, okay?
Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
Vaguest, I think. This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime.
What?
Yeah, exactly. The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth. Like, exactly. If Great Britain thinks that just because we're trying to prosecute or, incriminate this one lady, that should not mean anything. She is a bad person. She is a bad egg. It doesn't mean that the whole entire country is bad. That's not even a true statement.
If I may, I will silence you forever, for this is disgraceful.
Oh.
It is you who should be silent. Of course.
Wow.
Dear lady!
Where did that come from? She just snapped. Like, seriously, she broke like a twig right there.
Shut up! I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies.
I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring?
I described your police force as inferior, but no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe.
Wow, now she's just trying to clean up the matter.
The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not.
Of course.
You did?
Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time.
I don't believe it.
Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And what did you find, Inspector? I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time.
See, in this country, that keeps popping up. She called our country inferior, and now you're saying in this country that's available. Things aren't said in a certain way for no reason.
We could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency.
This is a crazy first case, though. Like, this is a ride, that's for sure. What? Are you sure?
The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself.
No! I'm very grateful to you all. Wait, I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't agree.
But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours.
There's more to it than that.
I was so sure.
This can't be right.
Everything falls into place if he was poisoned.
Thank you, counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything.
No, it didn't.
As the prosecution have asserted, a shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit.
I'm done for. I mean, we're not lying about it. We did pick up the weapon.
The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett.
Oh, no. I'm just glad the matter is resolved.
Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present the court at this time? Or at the present? At the point?
I went so fast, I don't remember.
Oh, at this point.
Kazuma?
I'm sorry, Ryanosuke.
Not again!
I have nothing more.
Well, if you excuse me now, I really must be leaving. I believe if I leave now, I'll be able to make that daring luncheon.
Screw you.
You know, I just noticed that she has, the back of her dress has a tail feather. Plumage of tail feathers, rather. Please, wait.
Isn't that... What is the meaning of this?
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikatoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense.
Mikatoba? In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And it was at that moment he fell in love. Like, wait. And in her hand, she carried a small package wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. Furoshiki. To be continued. You know, actually, this is probably the first time my to be continued happened at just the right time. This is where I'm going to have to wind up ending it. So yeah, I'm going to save my progress. Is this the right one? Oh, I'm not going to save. I'm not touching anything until I figure something out. I gotta make sure that this is going to be a good recording first. I'm going to have to do that every single time. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. If you've made it this far, I do appreciate it so much. This case, like, I'm blown away that this is literally just a first case. It feels like we're on case number 3 or something. Like, it's so extensive. I wasn't expecting that. I mean, it didn't have to be like a rush job, but geez Louise, it's like there's a lot of twists and turns going on here, and it's like, I know for sure it's her at this point. But man, just to actually like convict her, we're going through a lot. Like, we have the diplomacies of two countries in play and all this other stuff that is just like helping her, allowing her to at least try to build a case for herself to get off from the crime. But anyways, hopefully next time we can see how things will play out. Like, what does Susato have that can help prove my innocence, I guess? Because right now we're lacking evidence. That's the thing. And it's just because we've been thrown into this case, and it was like we're tossed into the deep end with, we only had the autopsy report to start. I want to say all the other information, the photographs and everything came to us during the whole court proceeding. So therefore, we were short-handed from the start, missing so much evidence. But now that I think about it, right now, her father, actually asked her to go and retrieve something. So that must be what she's getting ready to present now. I don't remember what exactly he said about it, though. But anyways, yes, the plot thickens in a very good way. This is like a delicious stew simmering right now because it's so good. But anyways, thanks so much for watching, and until next time, I hope you all have a great and wonderful day. Until next time, bye.